and Alexander Cornwell, who's joining us now as a senior correspondent for Reuters in Tel Aviv. Welcome to the program, Alexander. We just listened to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War here in the United States, discussing reasons for war. For us, incomprehensible. We weren't exactly sure of how to make heads or tails of what Pete Hegseth said, giving his rationale for war. As you are watching there, what is going on? There's no imminent strikes, according to the reporting. There was no imminent strikes. So we're all wondering why we're in this. Jasper is saying we're never going to make sense of it. And so what's next is just to watch the reaction and how the subject or the story, or the rationale for war will change over the coming days or weeks.
Well, yes, I think publicly the rationale or the objectives at this moment are kind of a little vague or unclear. We've had these assertions of regime change in Iran, but what exactly does that mean? Who would it be replaced with? Would the Americans tolerate or accept as someone from within the existing establishment to take power, like what happened in Venezuela? Or are they looking for someone from outside the country, one of these opposition movements, to come in? And if so, what legitimacy or credibility would they have with the Iranian population?
Mm-hmm. And Alexander, you're in Tel Aviv right now. Where are you?
That's right. I'm in Tel Aviv.
You are. Yes. And what's going on there? What is the mood there?
Throughout the day, and there's definitely been larger gaps today than in previous days. We've had sirens, we've had warnings of incoming rockets and attacks. There's definitely a sense of concern. People have been rushing into bomb shelters, and everyone's just waiting to see how long this carries on for.
The defense system can't stop all the missiles.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, in Israel now, there is this sort of multi-layer, not just of the air defense systems. There's the bomb shelters. There's the alert systems, the communications. But those that infrastructure doesn't exist in the West Bank for the Palestinians. It also doesn't exist elsewhere in the region, in the Gulf, such as in the United Arab Emirates, where they're also getting strikes. So sure, there's a sense of safety and security here, but it's not guaranteed.
Putting Palestinians further at risk with these actions. There were reports that were debunked, I must say that Benjamin Netanyahu had fled to Germany after he made his initial remarks announcing the death of the Ayatollah Khamenei. That turned out not to be true. Have you heard anything? Has Benjamin Netanyahu said anything about this?
I haven't seen any direct comments on this, but in the past hour, 2 hours, the Prime Minister was in Bet Shemesh, where an Iranian attack killed 9 people yesterday. He made public comments. He spoke to the media live, both in Hebrew and English. In English, he said that that Israel was acting to protect itself.
Yeah. The indication from President Trump here in the United States is that, and he spoke just moments ago to CNN anchor Jake Tapper, saying that initially they thought 4 weeks, that this operation would go on for 4 weeks, but they're ahead of schedule. How is that playing there?
Israeli authorities or the government, the military, they haven't outlined a time frame. They've just kept sort of vaguely saying that they can do this as long as need be. We've also now seen the war, expand to Lebanon. I mean, this current war, of course, as Israel has continued to strike Lebanon over the past year and longer. And so we saw Hezbollah fire at Israel today, and we saw Israel carry out strikes, not just in southern Lebanon, but in Beirut.
Yeah. Jasper, this is your beat. Jasper, by the way, Alexander is an independent journalist reporting on the occupied West Bank for the Infinite Jazz Substack. Jasper, do you have any questions for Alexander, who's on the ground in Tel Aviv?
Yeah, I mean, Alexander, I mean, obviously, you know that since these strikes, they closed the crossings into Gaza. It's hard to say if settler violence has intensified, because it's always been bad, but certainly the right-wing ministers in Israel have taken additional steps to strangle off life in the West Bank. I believe they closed Al-Aqsa Mosque after this started. I mean, do you think that the ministers in Israel whose top concern is annexing Judea and Samaria, as they would call it, are they seeing this as an opportunity to tighten their grip while the world just pays attention to Iran and sort of pays them no notice there?
It's a very good question, and I'm not going to pretend I have any insight into how these guys think, but this is the exact same question that foreign officials that I was speaking to in the lead up to this weekend were asking about, particularly about Gaza. Trucks have not been allowed to enter Gaza. The Israelis have confirmed that, but anyways, they've closed the border, so it's self-explanatory. In Gaza, you have people who are still sheltering in tents and among the rubble. Yes, the food situation has improved since the Trump plan came in last October, but it is still dire. I mean, people desperately need food, and they need those trucks to be going in daily.
Olivia, you have any questions for Mr. Cornwell?
I was just curious from your perspective on the ground, like, does the mood, from your vantage point, does it feel like this is going to be contained, or does it feel like an opening chapter to something so much bigger?
From the public perspective, I don't think anyone has any insight into that. People are nervous, but again, and I think this is similar to the war last June with Iran. People don't like Netanyahu. The public, I mean, many don't in this country don't like the prime minister. They don't support him, but they support this campaign. They support this idea of what they see as removing the existential threat that Iran poses to them. And and even opposition leaders who are extremely critical of Netanyahu have come out and sort of given the prime minister, a free ride in terms of this campaign. So it will continue as long as I guess they want to, but the question might be, how long does Trump want it to, and could he end that for them, which is appeared to what happened last June when the US bombed Iran and then sort of called for an end to the fighting.
Yeah. So it seems like look, just as we are, except for we don't feel like we're in as imminent danger as folks where you are, Alexander. But it's just no one knows. No one knows, and I would imagine it's almost a similar situation as what happened for October 7th. You didn't know when there would be incoming or what was going to happen. So now, Israel and the region are in a similar state right now.
Yeah, just to zoom out of Tel Aviv, to zoom out of Ramallah and Jerusalem and Gaza in the region. I was speaking to people in the United Arab Emirates this morning. They talked about how overnight there'd been no booms, no sounds of explosions. I spoke to someone who went to the gym, and then early in the morning you started having an incoming attack, and you had those explosions, and everyone was shocked and sort of went back into their homes. And no one really knows how this is going to play out. Again, coming back to Israel, people are somewhat used to this, but in other parts of the region, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, this is not normal. Near daily rocket, missile, drone attacks on civilian infrastructure, on military infrastructure doesn't happen, and it's definitely shaking people, not just here but across the region.
Yeah. Alexander Cornwell is senior correspondent for Reuters in Tel Aviv. Jasper Nathaniel, occupied West Bank, reporting from an occupied West Bank. He's a journalist there, independent journalist, I should say, and he's reporting for the occupied West Bank for the Infinite Jazz Substack. Olivia Troy is a former White House national security official who served during the first Trump administration as Vice President Mike Pence's counterterrorism advisor. Fantastic experts this morning here on the Don Lemon Show, and we thank you for helping us to get this story out accurately and with some intelligence. Hopefully, we've given some information. Nobody knows. At this point, nobody knows. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.